Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is time for the January 2024 release hop. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's new Donuts for Sale stamp set, their new Build-A-Booth Breakfast Add Ons, their new Gnome Dies Breakfast Add Ons, along with our Build-A-Booth die, our Gnome Dies Sign Add Ons, the Girl Gnome Dies, the stamp set Foodie, and the stamp set Muffin Without You. And I'm using P13 Stamping Pad Skin Toes, Candy Stripe and Sprinkles in the 6-inch pad and the 12-inch from Doodlebug. And I'm also using Made with Love in the 6-inch pad, or Baked with Love. Now, I put together those pieces on the Gnome Dies Gnome Dies and the Build-A-Booth Dies Breakfast Add-ons assembly videos, so check those out. So I'm going to put together some little croissants here, cut first out of Recollections craft cardstock for the base, then Nina Desert Storm cardstock for the second layer, and then for the top layer I used Paper Train craft cardstock, and I'm just running some gathered twigs distress ink around the edges just to make it stand out a little bit. Now I'm pulling out my reverse tweezers and some Nuvo glue, and I'm just going to stack these layers together just so you get kind of a dimensional looking croissant, which is lots of fun. There we go. Now you saw that my booth was already put together with some white wood grain cardstock. I believe the brand I used was Savannah Wood Grain Limba, but you know, any white wood grain would do. Just makes it a little bit more dimensional. And you can build that booth however you like, right? I do weight down my little images that I put together in between. So now I am taking a piece of Paper Train craft cardstock cut at 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches with my Martha Stewart scoreboard on my Teflon bone folder. Now I'm going to add a piece of Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock, 4 by 5.25 inches to the inside. Now obviously you'd be able to see, you know, writing on craft, but I think it adds a little bit more finish. Now I've got a 1-inch strip of this Candy Stripe and Sprinkles, and that's the pistachio candy. Sorry guys, this cold is killing me, I'm telling you. And then this little strip is from that Baked with Love 6-inch pad from Doodlebug as well. So I just cut that on an angle, and then I'm going to stick that down. I'm just making a little nest for my little croissant. So there we go, and I'm just going to glue that little croissant on top of that pattern paper. Now I'm going to add that little card base to the inside of my Misty, and I'm going to use the stamp set Muffin Without You. And I'm going to stamp Thanks a Brunch on the inside. I gotta love a pun, and I like the font on this one too. Lots of fun. And I'm just going to use VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink to stamp that on the inside of my card. And I'll do it a couple of times. Remember not to press too hard because it flattens out the lettering, and it'll make the letters seem a little fatter than they are. Now this is the sign for the top of my Build-A-Booth, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment from that other stamp set, Foodie, and it says Bon Appetit on it, and I'm just stamping it, on that. Now that paper that I used is that pistachio candy, the Candy Stripe and Sprinkles in the 12-inch from Doodlebug. So I'm going to stamp that using that same VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And I do stamp it a couple of times. It's got kind of a neat sketchy look. There we go. Now I'm pulling out the Donuts for Sale stamp set, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment Fresh Baked Daily on this little Gnome Dies Sign Add Ons. That's cut from that same pistachio candy from the Candy Stripe and Sprinkles from Doodlebug in the 12-inch paper line. So I'm just going to stamp that, and that will be the little sign for my booth, or another little sign. There we go. So now I'm going to put together the sign. The base layer is just some Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock, and I'm just going to stack up my layers. Like I said, the little handle or the little hanger part is the cherry candy from the Candy Stripe and Sprinkles from Doodlebug as well. So I'll just layer that on. There we go. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block. So now this paper is from that Baked with Love Doodlebug 6-inch pad. It's just a cupcake background, and I'm going to add that to my card base. It's cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than an A2 size card front. So it'll give you just a little bit of a border, a little bit of a craft border. There we go. And like I said, I do weight that down with an acrylic block in between. So this is my little girl put together just like normal. I'm going to be gluing her behind my booth, kind of tilting. Now, I do glue the top of her hat down, but then I decide to pop her up. But, you know, because I make changes as I go, right, people? Okay, so now I'm going to pop up her little croissant with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And there we go. And I'm using my reverse tweezers to get them in place. So she's like, come and buy my croissants at my store. There we go, or my storefront. But in a minute here, I will decide to pop her up a little bit behind there. So I'm going to add her to the front of my card with some Nouveau glue. Just trying to get her as centered as I can. And, you know, isn't she cute? I just love it. She's a sweet little thing, selling her wares. So she also has, her hat is from the Buffalo Plaid Doodlebug 6-inch pad, or plaid polka dot, sorry, plaid polka dot. I'm telling you, this cold is killing me. Okay, so now I am gluing down the sign. Her hair is American Crafts, yellow cardstock as well. So here I am, I'm popping up her little hat and face, you know. Her skin was P13 Stamping Pad skin tones. Her little dress is Candy Stripe and Sprinkles, but in the 6-inch pad from Doodlebug. So I am just popping this all up, peeling off the backing. And no one will know that I tried to glue it flat at first, right? Just me and you. There we go. So it kind of gives her a little bit of dimension. So now I'm going to glue down this little croissant bunting with some Nouveau glue. And I'm just going to have it swagging across the bottom of her booth. Right? And then I'm going to add that croissant like kind of under the sign a little bit. I'm going to have my little sign hanging off it. Baked Fresh Daily. Just for fun. So I will pop that one up. But I will glue down the hanger part. Just because, you know, so it's not kind of sticking up from the card base. It's kind of what I tend to do. And there, I'll just peel off the backing. And then I'll add the glue just to the string. And I'll stick that down onto the croissant. There we go. Super cute stuff, right? Okay, there we go. So now I'm pulling out shape sprinkles. They're called baby hearts. Sorry, I had to stop the tape there. I had a coughing attack. So now I'm adding on shape sprinkles. These are little hearts, like I said, from Doodlebug, baby hearts, and they're just in pink. I'm just going to have one on each little croissant, 2 on her little sign there. Just trying to figure out where they're going to go. I like to alter where they go just to add some movement. Now I'm pulling out my secure white jelly roll pen and a number 10, and I'm just going to fill in the writing on this Bon Appetit sign. So just quickly filling it in. And it's really easy. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect because the writing literally isn't perfect. It's kind of got a sketchy look. So I'm just sort of running that secure white jelly roll pen in a number 10, you know, to color in the middle of this writing. I just think it makes it pop a little bit more on the sign. But it looked fine before. You don't have to do this part. This is just Leanne being crazy. So there we go. I'm even crazy when I'm sick. What can I say? So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team. Make sure you hop through the whole hop because there's a lot of amazing projects they've made. Hop on over to the store and get shopping because this release is live and everything is a la carte. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.